Hello and welcome to Nutshell Recaps. This video explains the synopsis of the movie, Bad Sister. Warning, there will be spoilers, so proceed with caution. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, it will really help our channel grow. The main character of the film is a young high school student named Jason who has amassed a sizable fan base online because of his music. He informs his supporters in a YouTube video that he would soon be transferred to Street Avelines, a Catholic academy in Southern California, as he makes the announcement. He sings a lovely song to close up the clip. The next scenario depicts an unidentified woman who kills someone, hides the body in the trunk of her car, and dons a nun's habit. At the new school, Jason and his sister Zoe are met by their parents. Sister Rebecca, the headmistress, formally welcomes them and informs them of the school's regulations. Sarah, Zoe's housemate, is also introduced to them by Sister Rebecca. Due to Jason's charisma and online fame, it appears that Sarah develops a crush on him. Later, Sister Sophia White, a nun from Montana, is welcomed as a new teacher by the principal. The two nuns meet Jason at a school playground while introducing her to the area. Sister Sophia, to her surprise, thinks he's handsome and seems to be interested in him. She is discovered to be the same homicidal woman from earlier. Although she appears to have stolen Sophia's identity, her real name is Laura. Later that evening, the enigmatic, youthful, and lovely nun unwinds on her bed while taking in one of Jason's music videos. She even gives him a surprise kiss on the television. She is obviously attracted to the young musician, and the act appears disturbingly strange for a nun. Sister Sophia begins her first day at the school the next morning. She immediately notices Jason when she enters the class, but when she discovers him and Sarah flirting, she becomes irritated and jealous. Sarah is quite irritated when she is moved to the first desk as a result. After that, Sophia gets ready to begin her lessons, but Zoe interrupts her by reminding her about the morning prayer they always do before class. As soon as she hears this, Sophia hurriedly tells the class to begin the prayer even though she is unable to recite a single word. Zoe confides in Jason her misgivings about the new teacher after class, but he dismisses her and leaves. Afterward, he runs into Sophia and expresses regret for acting inappropriately earlier in the class. Jason immediately denies being with Sarah when the nun asks about their relationship. However, Sophia witnesses them having a sexual encounter the next day. After yelling at Jason, she threatens to suspend Sarah and sends him away. However, the latter reminds the nun that she has no power over her since her dad is a donor to the school. Sarah then walks away confidently, leaving the nun infuriated and annoyed. After class, Sophia asks Jason to stay behind, which Zoe once again finds really strange. She has been noticing that the new teacher is pretty interested in her brother. Once they are alone, Sophia confronts Jason about the other day, asking why he lied about his relationship with Sarah. Jason understandably remains mum, but Sophia asks him to meet her in her quarters to further discuss the matter. Jason is hesitant to comply because children are not permitted to walk in teachers' quarters, but Sophia threatens to report him to the school board if he disobeys. The young and uninformed guy is therefore forced to cooperate. Later, as Jason approaches Sophia's door and is about to knock, she startles him by starting to undress for him. Jason, who is terrified and perplexed, watches everything through the broken door before growing uneasy and leaving. The students are getting ready to leave for home as the film suddenly switches to the weekend. Sophia is furious and envious as she watches Sarah and Jason embrace in the parking lot. She is interrupted by the headmistress, who discusses some homework. Sophia explains to her that she would be absent for the weekend as well since she needs to visit her unwell aunt. Jason's emotional reunion with his father takes place when he returns home. The old man's opposition to his decision to pursue music is made clear. In reality, he wants his youngster to resemble his overachieving sister Zoe more. Jason skips dinner and heads to the pool for some alone time following a contentious conversation. He was unaware that the fixated Sophia had followed him to his residence. He is playing the guitar beside the pool as she oddly observes. When the kids return to school on Monday night, Sophia breaks into Zoe and Sarah's dorm room. At the same time, Rebecca, the headmistress, spots her and begins to follow her. After that, Sophia enters the girls' room with the intention of suspending Sarah by placing marijuana in her textbook. Once Sophia has completed her arrangements, the headmistress stops her as she is making her way back to her rooms. Sophia tells a fib about being a security guard when questioned about why she is wandering around the girls' hostel so late. The headmistress leaves after hearing this, but her suspicions have not changed. When Sophia instructs the students to open their textbooks to a particular page the next day in class, her nefarious scheme succeeds. When Sophia swiftly snatches Sarah's book and alerts the headmistress to the marijuana, Sarah is startled to see it there. Sarah's schooling is thus interrupted. The evil nun, however, has not yet finished executing her schemes. She requests that all dormitories be checked by the school security. Unsurprisingly, they discover a bottle of alcohol in Jason's room. It was the same bottle Sophia had been consuming the night before in her car. It turns out that she intentionally left the bottle in Jason's room in order to exploit his participation in community service as a kind of punishment, as an excuse to prolong her seduction of him. In front of the headmistress and the school board, Sophia begs on Jason's behalf after they discover the booze in an act of sympathy. She prefers that he spend the weekend staying and performing volunteer work. The headmistress is initially a little hesitant about the concept, but after some consideration, she accepts it. When Sophia seduces Jason in the following scene as he is working in the school garden, everything turns out well for her. The adolescent feels awkward at first when she unbuttons her shirt, but he cannot take his eyes off of her. And Sophia finally succeeds in getting the foetus into his own room at night. She even documents the act on her phone, which is another bonus. The next morning, Jason appears understandably anxious and guilty. He steps outside the dorm to breathe some fresh air. In the meantime, Zoe enters his room in search of her brother. She is shocked, though, when she sees Sophia sniffing Jason's clothing. When Zoe confronts the deranged nun, she is warned that the school board will be informed of her presence in the dorm for boys. Reluctantly leaving, Zoe goes to Jason and asks him what's going on. He keeps quiet, acting as though nothing is wrong, though. In the meantime, Laura views Zoe as a threat and comes up with a plan to deal with her. She invites Zoe to stay after class and presents her with her failing grades. She has always been a talented student, so the latter cannot believe it. Laura gives Zoe a second opportunity while acting as though she cares about her. She requests that Zoe stay for the retest after school. She then leaves the answer key on the desk on purpose. Zoe goes to class as directed to take her re-exam when she sees the answer key on the table. Laura enters the classroom unexpectedly as she examines it and accuses the student of cheating, telling her sister Rebecca. The headmistress, who always ranks Zoe at the top in her class, finds it difficult to believe. Later, the headmistress welcomes a bishop who has come to the school. He asks whether Sister Sophia is adjusting to the new school during their conversation. The headmistress finds it difficult to believe that the bishop would describe Sophia as being like a ray of sunshine because the Sophia she is familiar with is entirely different from what the bishop has said. Sarah invites Jason to a gathering at her place the next weekend and requests that he bring his guitar. When his parents are eating dinner, Jason asks if he can go to the party, but the topic quickly devolves into a dispute concerning his future. Jason attends Sarah's party despite Sophia stalking and following him, unknowing that she is doing so. Sarah welcomes him and leads the way to her room once they arrive. She tries to kiss him, but he is too preoccupied with his own problems. As a result, he departs abruptly without providing any further explanation. Then, as Sarah follows him as he exits the party carrying a bottle of beer, Jason does the same. But when she discovers that her car has been vandalized, she is taken aback because it was probably done by Sophia to avenge her. Jason almost runs into trouble with the law in the following incident. Sophia arrives just in time to resolve the situation, which is fortunate for him. Then, when she asks Jason if he can go home in such a state, he replies that he is too inebriated. This presents Sophia with the ideal chance to take him to her flat. Once there, the insane nun starts having delusions and begs Jason to flee the country with her. But fortunately, he snaps out of his drunken state and flees from the place. The following morning, when Zoe and Jason get ready for school, the former notices a suspicious car driving by their house. She later finds out that the car belongs to none other than Sophia. Later, when Jason returns to his dormitory, he shockingly finds Sophia unconscious on his bed. He also notices a bottle of pills on the table and concludes that she committed the unthinkable. Terrified, he hurriedly conducts CPR on her, hoping to bring her back to consciousness. And this is when the paranoid nun suddenly wakes up and kisses him. She then admits that she was only pretending to die to test his concern for her. Jason becomes irate and threatens to report her to the school board, but she responds by telling him that she has the film of them having a sexual encounter. Jason is in complete disbelief as a result of this. Sarah goes back to school the following day, much to Sophia's chagrin. She sneaks into Sarah's room because she feels intimidated and discovers Sarah in the shower. Then, while promptly murdering Sarah, she bangs her head against the wall to make the incident appear accidental. After some time, Zoe is horrified to discover her flatmate dead in the shower. The next day, she confronts Jason and inquires about his connection to Laura. He initially hesitates, but after constant prodding from Zoe, he finally gives in, shocking her. Zoe thinks Laura isn't a true nun because of the way she acts. They make the decision to enter Laura's room covertly in order to search for proof. There, they discover her laptop and discover that her real name is Laura. The laptop is also filled with images of Jason. Sophia's false claim that her aunt was ill is discovered by the headmistress in the interim. She confronts her aggressively about it and threatens to tell the school's headmaster about it. Before she can continue, Sophia hits her with a lamp and renders her unconscious. The siblings eventually make it to Sister Rebecca's cabin, but they are unable to find her there. They hastily travel to the church after realizing that she had suffered a horrible incident. Laura shows up shortly after and sees Jason carrying her laptop. Zoe instructs her to leave him alone even though she insisted he go with her. Laura is incensed by this, and she promptly knocks Zoe unconscious. Then she starts to kill Jason, but Rebecca arrives just in time and stops her. When the insane woman tries to strangle Rebecca out of rage, Jason takes advantage of the diversion and stabs her in the back, killing her. The siblings' high school graduation is seen in the film's concluding sequence. Despite everything that has transpired, they now look forward to living life to the fullest once more.